Hello, and welcome to BPEDGE, your partner that helps you to save for your business, prepare for your business, and start your business.
The leadership skill training and all other trainings you get from this platform is to help you transition from being a paid employee into self-employment.
We have the global mandate to move 1 million employees from paid employment to self-employment in the next 10 years. Is available to give you the hand-holding experience, the guidance, the support you need to make that decision.
We help you save, we help you prepare, and we help you start.
We encourage you to download the app and subscribe to our services and follow us on all our social media platforms.
BPEDGE.
Save,
Prepare,
Start.
Thank you very much for that introduction. The theme, welcome again to our Paid to Self-Employment Seminar. We call it P2SE. The theme for this seminar is visualizing your business while still in paid employment. And I would like to give Timothy Kide the floor while he takes us through the first session.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Obang. It's such
sir.
a huge pleasure. It's always a pleasure, and I'm always full of excitement to be on platforms like this, especially when it comes to talking about people as it concerns their business, talking to startups or talking to SMEs. One of my core purpose for life is to help people and organizations to become and to fulfill their life's vision. So everything I do is centered around this. It's centered around helping people build businesses, helping people turn ideas into businesses. And it's all out of all of that. That's the book I've written, the platform we're on, and all of that is coming out from. So it's a huge pleasure. And I thank everyone that has joined in already. I'm going to try and stick to my time. I usually have a lot to say, a whole lot. So I'm going to try and ensure that I stick to. So today we're talking about visualizing your business while in paid employment. Visualizing your business while in paid employment. I'm sure we can all see my screen. Visualizing your business while in paid employment. Often when people are in paid employment, it is easy to forget that at some point, someday, you would step out of paid employment, and very likely, in fact, 80–90%, especially in recent times, will step into self-employment. So it is important that we begin to understand this better, embrace it, and begin to take the needed change so that we can do what needs to be done. Yes. So I'm going to be talking about one, the inevitable change, deciding on a business to visualize. You need to know what you want to visualize. You can't visualize too many things. And I'm going to talk about the startup pathways. There are 3 core pathways that any employee can use to decide or follow to decide what will I do in paid employment. I've seen often that this is one of the biggest challenge most people face when it comes to transiting. Often people cannot answer that question. What will I be doing when I leave paid employment? So I'm going to talk about the 3 core pathways to enable us begin to understand how I can arrive at the business that suits me. And I'm going to talk about visualizing the business, and then from visualizing to actualizing the dream. So I'll move quickly. The inevitable change. What is this inevitable change? This inevitable change is the truth of the matter, that every employee today would someday leave paid employment. I'll say that again for emphasis sake. Every employee would certainly, in capital letter, certainly leave paid employment at some point. If the founder of a bank can at some point also leave the bank, there's nobody else who would not leave. Even the founder of a business will eventually leave the business at some point. So every employee, everyone in paid employment must tell himself or herself this gospel truth, that at some day, some point, you would have to step out of paid employment, whether you like it or not. At some point, you would have the options. It gets to a stage, you have no option. You will be told to step out. So it's not a matter whether you're ready for it, whether you're you like it, whether you're comfortable with it, what it means is at some point, please go. Thank you so much for what you've done for us. And you'll be asked to leave. You cannot change this change. You cannot change this inevitable change. The only thing you can do is to get in front of it, is to manage it, is to ensure that this change is not negative to you. Because many employees dread this change. In fact, many employees do not even want to talk about the fact that someday they will need to leave paid employment. Some do not even want to think about it. For some, the thought about it can be scary. The thought about it can throw them off balance for a whole day where they cannot focus on work. They thought that I will leave this job and going into something else or do not know what to do scares a lot of people. And that often is because of a number of reasons. Often there's no clarity. People cannot see what they are going into. Therefore, they are scared. It's like saying, I'm in the light and you're telling me to walk into the darkness. I can't see anything in front of me. Of course, I'll be troubled. I'll be worried to walk into it. That's the picture for a lot of employees. They cannot sit now where they are in paid employment and see clearly where they are going into in self-employment. So what that does is that brings a lot of fear. It brings a lot of anxiety. It brings a lot of avoidance, trying to avoid that thought at all. Some do not even want to think about it. And many will say, I still have time. I'm not retiring yet. I still have time. I still have time. Truth be said is, ask your colleagues, senior colleagues who have left. There's often no time. You think you still have time. Suddenly it's here and you're telling you need to go. And sometimes it might not even be retirement. Sometimes there's layoff. That's one way you could go. Sometimes you could even be fired. If there's no plan B on ground at all, you'll then be left stranded and wondering what to do. So what is the best way to handle this inevitable change? First of all, it is to embrace it. You must fully accept that someday I'm going to be leaving paid employment. You must embrace it. You must get comfortable with it. And the one way you get comfortable with it is to plan for it. You must have something in the process, something in the pipeline that you're working on, something that is taking care of the future that you're going to be moving into. And what is that future? You are likely going to be running your own business. So whatever are the things that you need to sort out, you need to start planning for it. Probably you say, I don't have the business expertise. Then you need to start working on it. You say, I do not have the money. Then you need to start saving for it. You say, I do not have the ideas. Then you need to start looking for those ideas. You need to start thinking of those ideas. But what is most important is that you need to accept and embrace this inevitable change and ride it. You need to get in front of the driver. You need to get in the driving seat of this change and ensure that the impact on you doesn't become negative, and ensure that this change doesn't become something that is detrimental to you or your loved ones or to your dependents. People are depending on you are suddenly caught off track because you were not ready for this change. So even if you're in paid employment and you think you still have 20 years to go, you still have 15 years to go, it is never too early to start off. I was having an interview about a week ago. We're starting a new challenge on our YouTube channel that we call My Transition Story, where we're interviewing individuals who have successfully transited from paid to self-employment and getting them to share their story and share all that they've been through, how they went. And a statement, I did ask the interviewer a question: what will you do differently today if you were to go back? And one of the things she said is, I will start much earlier. In fact, she said, I will start from the very first day I get into the job. Many people see it as, it's too much, because in this part of the world, we're not long-term thinkers. We're very short-term generally. Most people do not understand how can I start a job today and I'm already thinking of exits. Some people cannot, especially when it's a good job, especially when it's well-paying. People are wondering, why are you in a hurry to leave? Calm down. But the truth of the matter is, it is important to start early and actively work towards it. And that's what this event is all about. And that's what BPEG is all about. We're trying to support people to, first of all, be aware that this inevitable change will definitely come. It's only a matter of time. And then being aware of it, and then move on to the next stage of plan for it. Have a plan. That is why on the BPEG app, when you download the app, there's what we call the Transitional Roadmap. A roadmap that helps you begin to decide, what do I want to do when I leave paid employment? It's going to take you through a series of questions that will get you thinking and will get you starting to ask yourself, okay, in a few years from now, I want to leave paid employment and all of that. So you must plan for it, and then you must actively begin to work towards it. Active could be something once a day, something you do once a week. It could just be that you're saving a specific amount towards that business. Again, the BPEG app provides you that platform where you can be saving something monthly towards that business. Say, I want to leave paid employment in 5 years. You can then begin to save something 10% or 1%, like you already do with your pension. You begin to save something on the app towards that business you want to go into, so that when it's time, you are not caught off and saying there is no fund, there is no startup capital. Even if you do not have the entire capital, you would have at least equity to be able to start off the business. So it is important that we are aware and we stick to this inevitable change. And once we can do that, it's a lot easier for us to begin to then embrace all of the various opportunities and platforms that can enable us or support us to be ready and to take advantage of this change. Yeah. So yes, I've embraced the change. I want to move. One of the most important, one of the most pressing needs I've seen with people, one of the most pressing challenges I've seen people experience. I consult with people who want to do transition. I've consulted with people who want to turn ideas to businesses. I consult with retirees who have retired when they're trying to start up a business. I've worked with a couple across various sectors, from banking sector, oil and gas, and all of that. And I've seen that often one of the biggest challenge people have is, what do I do now? What's next? What business do I go into? It is a major challenge that people often cannot deal with. It's a question many cannot answer. So I'm going to try to quickly deal with that with what I've called the 3 startup pathways. It is the 3 ways that eventually everyone who is going into a business would likely follow one of these pathways. So I'm going to talk about it briefly. More of it, we talked about more of this in our training series, the BPEDS transitional training on the app. I'm going to share on this so that you can begin to engage any of the pathways or a combination of the pathways to help you decide now, what line of business do I want to go to? Because it is important that you answer that question, or at least start asking that question and start getting, to an extent, a bit of clarity. Clarity is very important. When you're clear on where you're going to, what you're going to go into, you find out that you become less scared of transiting from paid to self-employment. You begin to embrace and you easily get solutions. So what are the 3 pathways? The first pathway I call it the 2 Ps. The 2 Ps. And what are the 2 Ps? And in this case, I'm talking about your purpose and your passion. So I will say this first of all. A lot of times when people are in paid employment, you're getting a regular salary, things are coming in. People often make the mistake of playing down on these 2 Ps, your purpose and your passion. We often play down on it. We often do not see the correlation or the connection. Maybe because a lot of us do not know how to monetize our passion, or how to be able to figure out how our purpose and passion can connect with an industry or with a sector, or how I can bring out a product out of my passion and purpose, and that product can become a business, and that business can become a huge platform today that a lot of people will jump on. If I use a practical example, most of the banks today, well, not most, a couple of the banks today, if you look at the GT Bank, you look at the present Access Bank, you look at even at the Zenith Bank, these 3 banks, at least amongst others, were started by young bankers who were passionate about banking at some point. They didn't have everything. They didn't have everything. In fact, by their age and a lot of things, they were not, many people did not expect them to succeed. But they went out based on, they had a very strong passion for the banking industry. They had a very strong passion for banking and finance, and they went all out. And today, some of those banks are the biggest banks across not just Nigeria, even across Africa. Some of those banks are where some of us are working in, and we are holding on to. We do not want to leave because we see it as a secure platform. Forgetting that at some point, those platforms were not secured until somebody stepped out and turned an idea, and today those banks are doing well. So it is the same with us. Each of us has a purpose and a passion. And these 2 things is what actually speaks to who you are. Who are you? Comes down to your purpose and your passion. Who you are. Every man on the face of the earth has a purpose. The difference is that many have not yet discovered their purpose. The whole idea of purpose and passion is to be able to understand it, connect it into a sector, bring out a product out of it, create a business on it, and then begin to make impact with it, especially if you are called into running a profitable organization. Some people's passion and purpose aligns with a non-profit organization. Whatever it is, you must be able to understand your purpose and your passion. Take the time. When you're still in paid employment, you have to an extent the luxury of time to plan for the business you want to go into. And understanding your purpose and connecting it to a sector is very important And it is important for you to do that while in paid employment. So as one of the pathways, if you're thinking of what ideas do I want to go into, what line of business, I would advise that you look towards your passion. I'm very passionate about what I do, and everything I do today is connected to my purpose, is connected to my passion. Today, I'm an author, it's because of my passion, because of my purpose. I'm the founder of BPED, it's because of my passion. I'm a business management consultant, it's because of my purpose. My life's purpose is to help people become, is to help people and organizations to become, and to fulfill their life's vision, is to first of all become. So I've taken time to understand my purpose and breaking it down into a statement that enables me to use it in making decisions, that enables me to use that purpose statement in deciding what sector, what industry, what individual, what kind of business can I do with it. And just to add to that, your passion is often a pointer to your purpose. If you check my YouTube channel, I did a series that I called the purpose pointers, where I talked about how to discover your purpose by understanding your purpose pointers. Your passion, anything you're passionate about, is often sitting around the area of your purpose. Anything you're passionate about. So if you're passionate about music, it's very likely that you have a purpose in the music industry, in the entertainment industry. You just need to understand it. You just need to bring a product out of it. You just need to set up a business or a platform out of it. And off you go. And then you will enjoy what I call oneness, where you're working in your purpose and at the same time, you are being paid for it. You're working in your purpose. This is my best pathway to be able to start up something that aligns with my purpose and passion. I'll quickly add before I move to the next pathway. For most of us in paid employment today, the work we are doing is often based on just we need to pay the bills. For a lot of people, the work they do today is actually work. If you understand what I mean, they're not passionate about it, but it's something they need to keep doing because bills must be paid. Even if you are sleeping in your bed 1 week, you don't go anywhere, you don't interact with anybody, bills will meet you, whether you like it or not in Lagos. Wherever you sit, hide yourself somewhere, the bills will find you, the bills keep going up. So we need to pay bills, understandable. But when it comes to starting a business as an employee, you want to go into a business, I always advise that it is a unique opportunity for you to now align your business or your product or what you'll be doing to your purpose. It is very powerful when you are running a business that aligns with your purpose and passion. Passion is fuel for the journey of starting a business. Passion keeps you going. Even when money is not coming in, passion will keep you on track. Even when nobody believes in you, passion will keep you on track. So it is important that you understand your passion and your purpose, and you begin to engage them in deciding what business you want to go into. If you can understand your passion and your purpose, then break it down into a product. Please, I advise you with all of my heart, then go for that business, if you can do that. And then next, passion and purpose is one. The next is your, what I called the 2 E's. The 2 E's, experience and expertise. If you're saying I'm not going the path of purpose and passion, you say, you know what, I'm not so sure about that. The next pathway that is open to you is what I call the 2 E's, experience and expertise. Some of us have been working for a couple of years, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. What often has happened is you've had experience in an area and you likely have become an expert in a specific area where when we talk about this, you can speak on this area as an authority. You know things about that area. You can speak about it authoritatively. If you've been in the banking sector for 20 years, when it comes to talking about banking, you can speak with a lot of authority. You have experience depending on what unit you've worked with over time. But if you're in the oil and gas, whatever you've been, you have experience in that area. Recently, I have a client I'm working with who was in trade in one of the big banks, was in trade for about 20 years. And one of the first things we considered when we were looking at, when she retired, when we were looking at what should she be doing, we took time to look at her experience and expertise to say, okay, you've been in trade, she knows trade, she drinks trade, she sleeps trade, you know. And so we decided one of the legs she's going to run with was to start up a trade, a consulting company that aligns with trade. Already, while we were still putting that together, she was already getting calls to come and do trainings for bank staff on trade and all of that. So one of the pathways you can decide on is, I have experience and expertise in this area. Therefore, I want to go into a business that aligns with my experience and expertise. One of the biggest challenge today, they say in Nigeria today, statistics says 8 out of every 10 businesses in Nigeria failed in the first 2 to 3 years. And one of the major reasons why is not the lack of funding, but it's the lack of finance. It's the lack of expertise. A lot of people are not knowledgeable when it comes to the business, when it comes to the business they are doing. So experience and expertise, deciding to go into a business where you have experience and expertise would actually give you that advantage, where you will likely, your chances of succeeding would be higher. But do not forget that the fact that you're an expert in an area, for example, I'll share this story. I had a friend who was friend's friend, not my friend, a friend's friend who was an engineer. So he was working with an engineering company, and he was always complaining to my friend that, my boss is not paying me well. He's the one eating all the money. I can't cope. I'm the one doing most of the job. After a while, he said, I can't cope anymore. I'm going to go off and start up my own business. And off he went to start up a good engineer, start up his own business, start up his own engineering firm, which is a business, yeah? It took him about 3 to 4 years to understand that there's a difference between being a good engineer and running an engineering company. It's not the same thing. It's not the same. It's a different ballgame altogether. So what I'm saying is, even as you have expertise in a particular area, you must also develop expertise when it comes to business startups. And again, I will mention the BPED platform, which is why BPED says save, prepare, start. BPED has transitional training. BPED has consulting sessions you can engage on the app, so that while you are saving towards a business, it's also preparing you, giving you the needed knowledge when it comes to business skill, when it comes to startup skill, when it comes to the basic skill in terms of leadership, in terms of entrepreneurial thinking, in terms of understanding money, in terms of understanding social, in terms of understanding marketing. All of these are training on the BPED platform that you can engage for a token. Once you pay a token on it, you can access that training 24/7 on your phone, on the app, anywhere you are in the part of the world. So experience and expertise is another pathway. So you can decide to develop a business idea along this pathway, an idea that you have experience in, an idea you have expertise in that area, in that sector, and you can go on with that. And then next, the last pathway, a unique business opportunity, where you discover an opportunity. It could be a franchise, could be distributorship, could be a dealership, could be country rep, or you've gone into retirement, you see a business that is doing well, you have the fund, you're buying over a business, and the business is doing well. All of this comes under a unique business opportunity. Most people will quickly go for this, but for me, from experience, this is my last option. Because often with this, you often have no experience in this area, you often have no expertise, you often have no passion for it. The only thing you see is that there's business, there's money, there's opportunity to make money. And the challenge with once you lose that, once the shelf life of that opportunity expires and you did not make money, you're often left stranded. You're often left stranded with that dealership, that country rep, that franchise you've taken. You're left stranded. Either technology has taken over or the market is now choked. I had a client who we had this issue at one point. He went for a franchise. He was going to represent a certain organization on the West African level. He was given the dealership. He paid good money. Was all excited. And within 3 months, technology took over. What he was supposed to be selling that was unique to him, technology took over and it was everywhere. And he lost out millions because he couldn't sell. It wasn't such a big deal anymore. Well, maybe about 1 or 2 years. So this is often my last option. But there can be a mix of this when it comes to deciding. You can have a mix of where you are passionate about an opportunity that aligns with your purpose, fantastic. Or you have expertise and experience in an area that you are passionate about. That for me is the best, where an area I'm passionate about, I have expertise in it, and I see a business opportunity there. The chances of succeeding in that business is over 60% once you have these things aligned for you. Yes, you will meet challenges, but you will definitely overcome them because you're passionate about it, you have experience and expertise in it, and it's an opportunity in the marketplace. But often we don't get that kind of opportunity quickly. So what I'm saying is you need to look at these 3 pathways and decide what line of business do I want to go into? Because until you make that decision, you cannot even begin to visualize. Whatever you're going to be visualizing has to be an idea, has to be a business opportunity that you've seen and you think you can move into. And because the visualization is not just for formality. You want to go to create pictures that you begin to move into, because when you begin to visualize the business you want to go into in paid employment, often, I've seen that with people who do it, often you would not even stay as long as you planned. meaning you will get uncomfortable with paid employment, because the more you visualize, the more you begin to come into the pictures, into the opportunities, and you may decide to take early retirement, you may decide to resign, because now it is clear. Like the songwriter says, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. It is clear, and you're in a hurry to even move into it. So it starts from, first of all, being aware that you will leave paid employment, and then coming up with the idea you want to visualize, and then actually going into the process of visualizing it. One of my greatest quotes in recent times is by Abraham Lincoln. The best way to predict the future is to create it. The best way to predict the future is to create it. It is so powerful and it is so true. Many people would not agree with it because they've not been able to align with it. They've not been able to implement or understand the workings of it. But really, the best way to predict the future is to create it. As humans, we have the ability to create the future we want. What is vision? It is the mental picture of a preferred future. And in this case, a business vision is simply the mental picture of a preferred future for your business. So if you've come up with an idea that you want to pursue, you then need to begin to create that mental picture. You then need to begin to step into the future. So a business vision or a life vision is like you go into the future and you see all the possibilities that are available for you. You see all the possibilities, you see the things you want. When it comes to business vision, you need to be able to what? Clearly articulate them. As you paint the pictures, you must be able to articulate the business vision. Clarity is very important. Clarity is very powerful when it comes to transiting from paid to self-employment. Clarity makes a lot of things easier for you. So you need to step into the future, and then you begin to see what the future holds. Where will you have the business? What location? Now, this is engaging the power of questions. You need to sit down from time to time, paper and pen, and engage yourself with questions. It is one of the most powerful tools, and it is free, that I've seen that business owners can make use of. A lot of business owners do not understand that at the early stage of your business is very internal. Your business, because what you're doing is you're pulling out a lot of things out of you and you're pushing it out there, and then the opportunities out there will now respond to you, and then you're building a fantastic thing. So you need to be able to spend time with yourself, which is why at startup stage, business can be very lonely, but it is good. At that stage where it is lonely, it is meant for you to understand yourself, for you to understand the business properly, for you to put your feet deep into the ground and know where you're going. So you need to begin to become very familiar. And all of this you can do while you're still in paid employment. Do not wait until you are out, because when you're out, it can become a bit confusing. It can become overwhelming, depending on how you leave paid employment. If you're fired today or you're asked to resign, it's so difficult to begin to believe in, I want to articulate vision, I want to plan this. Many people, the next thing they're thinking of is, how would I survive? Especially if you had no financial plan on ground. You know, how will I survive is the thing. But where from the comfort of you have a steady salary coming in and all of that, and you're able to still plan yourself, it is easier to begin to visualize these things so that if suddenly you're even asked to leave, you already have something running on the side, something that is already moving you that you can simply just slide into and off you go. So create the vision. Understand, articulate your vision to the point where you can do what? Create a vision statement. Have a vision statement, a business vision statement, just like your present company does. You can also have a vision statement for your organization. I mean, for the business you want to go into. Where you work right now, if they have a business vision, it's because it is important. So you too can also have a vision statement that can begin to help you actually visualize, actually capture, and actually become very familiar with the business you want to go into. So have the mental picture, paint these pictures. My colleague coming in later is going to talk more on that area, how to paint these pictures, how to put all of that together, articulate it, create a vision statement, engage the power of questions. Do not be tired of asking yourself questions. What kind of people do I want to serve? How much can this business make in 10 years? Where will this business be located? How many staff will I have? How much do I need to start off? How can I raise this money? And do not ask these questions out of fear. No, ask these questions out of an adventurous mind. You are going into the future. Be happy, be excited about it, and you will see that things will begin to play out. Who can I partner with somebody? Do I need to acquire more knowledge? As you sit down and ask these questions, understand the power of questions, that when you ask yourself questions and you slow down, do not be in a hurry to do it. There are certain questions when it comes to business startup that you ask. Sometimes you cannot answer it immediately. you need to go out and get answers. You need to go out and get information. You need to probably talk with a mentor or talk with a colleague and all of that. Go through all of these processes because they will help you. All of this process is building you up to have the clarity you need. The clarity you need to be able to what? See the vision of your own business, and then it begins to pull you into the future without any fear, without any anxiety, and you get into that desired future. So the best way to predict the future is actually to create it. Predict your future by creating it. Predict your future by creating the vision of the business you want to go into, so that you can decide, you can take the keys in your hand, and tomorrow you can fire your boss. You have that option. You can say, boss, I'm done here. I can't take this anymore. I'm going out to pursue my life. Yeah. And then how do you then move from visualization to actualization? Now you've been visualizing. It's easy to, like somebody will say, to analyze and become, it turn to paralysis. You overanalyze, you over-visualize, nothing is happening. It mustn't stop at visualization. You must continue, you must move from visualization to actualization. Even if it's going to take 5 years or 10 years, you need to keep moving towards the vision that you have created. One thing is clear: when you're focused, when you've been able to develop their business you want to go into. And let me mention this: if you decide on a business at a point, it is not cast in stone. Things can change, circumstances can change, but always be conscious that you are in the driver's seat and look at the options and make a change. Do not get overwhelmed. You can decide, oh, you know what? I initially thought I was passionate about, for example, the makeup business. But somewhere along the way, I've discovered that makeup is really not my thing. Maybe I just like makeup. I don't think I want to run it as a business. I think I'll do better with the catering business, or I'll do better with event management. I'll do better with entertainment, whatsoever. But just know that, just remember that it's not cast in stone. You must make the change as it comes. It's a process. It's a journey. And anything that's a process or a journey takes time. So give yourself that time and do not get overwhelmed. So if you then want to move from visualization to actualization, what do? You first of all, after you've been able to, I will assume you've now articulated the vision. The vision is clear. There's a vision statement, but having a vision statement alone will not bring it into realization, will not bring it into actualization. So what then do you need to do? You then need to begin to move from visualization to actualization by engaging the following steps. You need to set SMART goals. SMART goals are like the baby steps towards the vision. SMART goals are like little visions, little visions that will move you into the bigger vision. But remember that the goals should be SMART. The goals should be SMART. In case you are not aware what that means, SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, attainable, as the case may be, realistic, and time-bound. So if you set a vision, you cannot say, I have a vision, I want to run a catering business that would make billions of naira. That's very general. It's not going in anywhere. It's not specific enough. So you need to get specific with your vision. You need to go to say, okay, this is it. Break down your vision into SMART goals. Your goals must be specific. They must be measurable. You should be able to know when you've achieved them. They should be achievable, attainable. They should not be overblown where it's beyond your reach. They must be realistic and they must be time-bound. So you must say your vision that you're looking at, you're visualizing, you should be able to say, I'm going to leave paid employment in 5 years, in 2 years, depending on what stage you are, in 10 years, which is why the BPage app gives you the opportunity to say, I'm going to leave paid employment in 5 years, and you begin to plan and save towards that business. On the BPage app, you can decide, I want to save 10 million over a 5 years period to start a business. The BPage app will give you the opportunity to, first of all, be saving, and your savings will be gaining interest, but also while you're saving, it will also then be preparing you from trainings, from consulting sessions, even to business registrations. A lot of startup opportunities will be set across your way to ensure that you're aligned. So set SMART goals that are connected to the vision. And then SMART goals are also not good enough. You then must have activity goals. Activity that means that today, I need to save. Today, I need to read a book. Today, I need to talk with a consultant. Today, I need to sit down and question myself. Today, I need to decide on what I did. Specific activities that will be moving you towards your goals. Specific activities. So draw up activity goals that are connected to the SMART goals. The SMART goals must be connected to the vision. When you have it aligned like that, and then you begin to carry out these activities, and then you pay your attention, you focus on the activities, because you've done the connection properly. The activity goals are connected to the SMART goals. The SMART goals are connected to the big vision. As you focus on the activities daily or weekly or monthly, as the case may be, you find out that even without paying much attention to the vision, you're moving towards the vision because you've done the connection correctly. And then after all that, you also need to keep learning. Learning and acquiring business startup skill is one thing that needs to keep going on for you while you are preparing, while you are visualizing, while you are preparing for that business you want to go into. And the BPED transitional training would also provides you a very unique opportunity to learn at your own pace. Download the app, pay for any of the sessions on the app. The token nothing too high, and then you have access to trainings for lifetime. You always have them. You can access them anytime you want, and you begin to move forward. And as you learn, as you acquire, as you ensure that your activities are connected and you keep learning, you find that even some of the goals may change, some of the activities may change, some of the opportunities may even change, because bigger opportunities, with more knowledge, with more expertise you have, opportunity will open more to you. And then next, you should have a support group. Again, I don't know any other group that is better to give you support than BPED. The whole concept of BPED is largely to support people who want to transit from paid to self-employment. So the whole design of the app, the entire team, this training, everything is built in that direction. So if you're someone who says, I need support, you should be able to engage an app like this. Apart from an app like this, you could also engage family members. Like I mentioned earlier, I was interviewing one of our consultants on how she was able to transit from paid to self-employment. And one of the things she did mention is the support of family. It is very important. So engage a support group. If you need to have an accountability partner, especially to ensure that you keep in line with your vision, you keep in line with your SMART goals, you keep in line with activity goals. A colleague can be a partner, your spouse can be a partner, BPED can be a partner, and all of that. All of this will help you begin to move from visualization to actualization. And then you must form the habit of visiting your business future often. I say that again, form the habit of visiting your business future often. When people are in paid employment, it is easy to get caught up in the everyday activities where you're working. It's what is paying your bill. There's external pressure. You have deadlines to meet. You have workload to meet. You know, the pressures are in your face every day. You go to the office. So it is easy to forget that you have a future that you are planning for. That's why I say you need to say, form an habit where you can decide that every day, depending on how early you want to leave, every day I will do something about my business idea. Every day I will visit my future. So is it that in the morning before you leave home, or at night before you sleep? Or you say once a week, I will do something about my business idea. Or once a month, I will do something. That thing could be you're saving towards the business. Again, a BPED app is available. You're reading a book. You're visiting probably a business, or a business that is in line with what you want to go into. You're sitting with a mentor. You're talking with a business management consultant. BPED gives you the opportunity. You're reading, but on a regular basis, visit your business future. Go into the future and visualize. Begin to ask yourself, always ask yourself that question. Let your business future become a place of excitement and a place of getting away from all of the mundane pressure and all of that, where whenever you think about your business that you're going to be going to, excitement, you're excited, you can't wait for it to happen. It gets you, you want to move quickly, you want to move. So form the habit of visiting, because when you do that, it will always remind you to ensure that the things you need to do, they are done. When you do that, it will begin to attract opportunities to you. When you do that, you are more likely, if you say, I want to leave paid employment in 10 years, I bet you, if you follow this step, you won't stay up to 10 years in paid employment. You will end up living before 10 years. I can bet $1 million on that. You won't stay up to 10 years because the vision will pull you in. The vision will begin to open opportunities for you. The vision will stir you up. If you've gotten it right, you've articulated the vision properly on the right idea, you've been able to align your SMART goals, you've been able to align your activity goals, and now you're working on it on a regular basis. You're visiting this future. What often will happen is the vision will begin to pull out to you. People will begin to notice. So again, I'll mention the example of this lady I interviewed. You're going to watch the interview soon on my transition story on our YouTube channel. So one of the things she said is, when she finally decided she was going to leave, and she had the full support of her husband to do that, she said, you know what, work became less stressful. She worked in the banking sector. The work became less stressful. She was excited. She was just waiting for time to come and leave. No pressure. When they are giving a lot of pressure, people are worried, do this. She wasn't on that kind of pressure anymore because the future was clear. The future was bright. Like P2SE said, the future is so bright, they enter for high. The future was so bright, she had to put on sunshade to be able to see. So that's what happens when you visualize properly, when you begin to align yourself. But in all of this, self-discipline is necessary. This is not for the weak. This is not for those who want to escape paid employment. Self-employment is not an escape route from paid employment. Many people make that mistake, thinking once I'm self-employed, I'm free, I can be lazy, I can do as I like, no more responsibilities. Those are some of the mindset that needs to change. Those are some of the things that you need to understand better. When you come into self-employment, it's a different ballgame. So there's a need to have a different mindset. Again, the BPEDGE platform gives an opportunity to begin to develop the right mindset. While you're in paid employment, you're already thinking like a business owner, acting and behaving like a business owner. So self-discipline is needed because you are going to be managing two ends. The job you're presently doing and actually looking at the vision you're going to be going into. Yes, so like we used to say when we were young, when I was in school, I was in the debating society. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince and not confuse you that you need to actually visualize, you need to start working on your business while you are still in paid employment. In the end, BPEDGE says save, prepare, and then start. Save the money for the business, prepare yourself for the business, and then start the business. Thank you very much.
Hello, and welcome to BPEDGE, your partner that helps you to save for your business, prepare for your business, and start your business.
The leadership skill training and all other trainings you get from this platform is to help you transition from being a paid employee into self-employment.
We have the global mandate to move 1 million employees from paid employment to self-employment in the next 10 years. Is available to give you the hand-holding experience, the guidance, the support you need to make that decision.
We help you save, we help you prepare, and we help you start.
We encourage you to download the app and subscribe to our services and follow us on all our social media platforms.
BPEDGE.
Save,
Prepare,
start.
Wanted. I would like to introduce the second speaker. Her name is Eniton Ibironke. She has numerous years experience in various sectors and career cutting across various roles in social and the private sector. She's a lawyer, a trained journalist, and a brand strategist. She's an administrator, an image and effective communication trainer. She holds a master's degree in international law and diplomacy from prestigious universities. She is a legal associate at various law firms, including City Partners. She has worked with Radio Netherlands at the African office and Silverbird Television Lagos, and presently she's the team lead training and communication at Nero. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome Eniton Ibironke to the stage. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much, Mr. Ubang, for the introduction. At some point, I started wondering if he was still talking about me. I don't know if I hope I can share my screen, but if I can't, I have the presentation sent to you already. But I would like to start by saying that Timothy has done an amazing job of laying a fantastic foundation. And I also had to listen in, and I was like, okay, you know what? It might be a good time to start talking to BPEDGE as well about a lot of my ideas that I want to, yes. So pretty much he has spoken about everything. And what I'm doing here in the short time that I have is to just talk about what are the practical tools that you as an individual, as a person, can actually utilize to be able to, visualize your dreams, going from paid employment to self-employment. But that does not, because at the end of the day, no matter what it is or whoever it is that works with you, a consultant, an organization, so your success is still going to be very, very largely determined by you. And as Timothy has said in his presentation, there's a part where expertise, passion, and all play out. And if you've observed, those are things that are innate to you. So what tools can you simply use? And before I go into the slides fully, I'll just let you know that we have various visualization tools. And a lot of people usually think, okay, can you visualize your way to success? The answer to that is resounding yes. Now, what are the kind of visualization tools? Visualization is not just about saying, I have a dream in my head. I have a thought in my head. So here we are. I was saying that when it comes to visualization, it's not a new concept. For years, generations, people visualizing success has been something that people have done over a period of time. But there are simple tools that you can use to visualize your success. We have goal mapping, we have vision boards, we have the laws of attraction, which has been very popularized by notable business management consultant Jan Canfield. And then we also have simple things like your mindset orientation. And because I just want us to, I'm going to go through this very quickly now because time and then my slides are a lot. Visualization should not be confused with think and get it, like as people think. Now, what is one thing that you need to understand about visualization? You need to understand that, 2,000 years ago, Aristotle wrote something. He described the process as this. First, you have a definite, clear goal. You have an idea, you have a goal, you have an objective. The second thing is that you must have the necessary means to achieve that, which is what the BIP Edge platform is providing. But no matter what it is, like when you go to the hospital, you're with the doctor and they give you your drugs and they do everything to you so that the success of whatever is being done can actually be seen and you can actually have that joint collaboration whereby you have done all the engagement with BIP Edge platform and then your own side. So at the end of the day, what we're simply saying here is you can sit down. So what am I let's talk about, let me just talk through what the actual visualization tools you can use as. First, the idea behind you talking about your vision is that you're talking about how you actually paint a mental picture of that thing. See your vision in real life color. One of the tools you can use is a vision board. And with a vision board, you have, and that's why I'm glad that Timothy already spoke about the fact that your goals need to be smart, you need to be specific, you need to be able to define the business idea, you need to be able to know exactly what it is that you are doing. After you have gone through all those processes of knowing what it is that you want to do, how you want to do it, then you start to say, okay, so for instance now, let me use myself as an example. I've done various things, but one of the most interesting things that I really want to do, and I want to build into a lifetime employment plan for myself, is to build human beings. When I say build human beings, I don't mean go and then build the human part. I don't mean scientific building of human beings. No, I mean build human beings, build human capacity, help people to take themselves and say, so what? I'm not a business consultant. That's not what I would classify myself as, because I believe that outside the nuts and bolts of business consulting, the human person, the soul of the person, deriving their passion, putting it in Kodak colors, making them see their goals, making them see what capacity they carry, and actually implementing that are the kind of things I want to do. So for me, I know that, what did I do? So in 2017, I actually sat down and I found about the first vision board program. And that was where I sat down. What you do with a vision board is pretty much, you look at the goals and the dreams you have. So for instance, you want to do a training company, or you want to actually come up with a catering business, or you want to come up with something, any other thing at all. You get the collage. Now, most people are so digitally inclined, so you can do your vision board on a digital platform, like you put all the things together on your phone. But I still like that cold, you hold a pair of scissors in your hand, like this scissors. You have magazines, you have pictures you print out, you get cardboard, you get the whole thing, and you literally cut out the pictures that represent where you want to be, where you are going to, what things you are seeing. So as Timothy said, the specifics of it. So for instance, the specifics, I want to get 10 million naira as revenue in my business. So you cut out that. So I remember that in 2017 and even in 20, I did it twice. I had that picture where I cut out where I said I wanted to be a successful woman. Like I wanted to be a woman who was I put very interesting things there. I want to be a successful woman. I want to be beautiful. I want to be, I put everything, business, because at the end of the day, I realized that as a person, I wanted to be valued in a certain way. So when Obong was reading my profile, I just started talking to myself, because I remember when I was creating that vision board, some of the things that he finally read out now had not even come into existence at that time. But because I had said into that imagery of this is what I want it to be, and this is how I want it to be. And those are some of the practical visual aids that actually help you to practicalize how you go. So while I'm working for somebody, and then I have gone through all the steps that, the consultants have said, we have defined this and we have done that. We can then say, okay, what do I really see? Now, the thing about visual aids and visualization is that it is discipline, like Timothy said. You need to go into yourself and then begin to put it out there. The next thing that you do, apart from a vision board, I'm just saying that different tools you can on board is a very simple tool called the laws of attraction. Now, the laws of attraction is not just saying, oh, I want this thing and I just attract it. Now, the reality is this: the human mind sees in pictures and in colors. If you tell yourself that I want a car right now, when you say I want a car, you don't see C-A-R, the spelling. You see the image of a vehicle. When you see the image of a vehicle at that point in time, that is what your mind sees. Now, society, scientists, and even whichever belief system you hold shows us that there is that, how to put it, shows us that there is a correlation between what we see and what we get. And so when Jack Canfield said promoting the laws of attraction, he said, realize that sometimes when you're saying, oh, I'm afraid, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that, sometimes you start to feel it in your body. So imagine you're in paid employment already, and you're already asking, you've already gone through all the steps of, I am setting up this business, this is my passion, this is my expertise. You need to see yourself. You need to literally, truly see yourself carrying out that. For instance, today now, I had sat down before this session happened and seen myself carrying out this session. In fact, if the Beef Edge team know how much visualization I have created on Beef Edge, they'll be surprised at how much I have actually visualized what can be done, what we can put in place. Now, what am I saying? Now, the next thing so when you need to, so going back to the part where Timothy said smart goals, what I decided to do in this and talk through everything is that my slides are really a lot, but I realized that Timothy has dealt so in-depthly with it that it is better for me to just take the practical side. Now, Timothy says something about smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, realistic, and time-bound or timely. At that point in time, you need to ask yourself that these goals that I want, this thing I want to do, what is the specific thing that I am doing? What is the specific thing that I am doing? Sorry. Oh, can you say me good? Okay. What is the specific thing that I am doing? What is the specific business? Is it measurable? Then you now put it down, start to say, okay, editor is CEO. Okay, let me give an example of one of the things that I started thinking about. I remember that I said, like a few years back, I told myself that I like to talk. I'm a communicator. But I always did, so most of my communication and my talking would be done, I always did them in maybe volunteer basis. I do stuff. I remember when I'm so glad I remember this story now, because I wanted to start out with how I met Timothy, and I'm going to bring in that story now. So at that time, I had all these dreams in my head. I wanted to do stuff. So I'm a lawyer. I was already a lawyer. I was already with my master's. I had worked in different media platforms. And I met Timothy that day outside a particular building, a public space. And that day I was telling myself that I want to break out. I want to launch into bigger things. And then I don't know who was standing beside him. And there was a book in the person's hand about creating, starting your ideas, launching it. And I said, this book is interesting. May I have it? And they said, that's the author. That was Timothy. I said, really? You are the author? That is what I want to do with my life. And so why am I bringing up the story about the laws of attraction? So I had to myself, and I said, I want to talk on big platforms. And I saw Ibuka Woshika one day, and she was talking about the platform which is done every October 1st. And so, platform has thousands of people on it, thousands. And the strangest thought that popped in my head was, oh my goodness, that is what I want to do. And I saw myself standing in, literally, like, I visualized, because I already defined that I'm a public speaker, I'm an orator, I'm a communicator, I build lives. Do you know that, I have not spoken at the platform yet? I am going to speak at platforms like the platform. But I remember that there was a big conference in Unilag, in the Unilag University of Lagos auditorium. It was, and the auditorium sits over 1,500 people or so. And I remember I still have the platform. I wish I had brought it out to show you. Where somebody knew me and said, I'm a member of Toastmasters International. I said, we would like you to be our speaker. Come and talk to people on building their personal brand. And that day when I stood on that platform, I remembered the visualization that I had of standing in a hall of thousands of people. So the laws of attraction, practical tools that you're going to use. You also need to understand that there needs to be a mindset orientation. Those are tools. Your mindset, the mindset of an entrepreneur, of somebody who is starting a business, has to be one that realizes that I must be disciplined. I must set down my goals. I must write out these things. If you are somebody who does not like to document, or who does not like to write, or who does not like to plan, I would advise you, please, you know what? Better be praying that for the rest of your life, somebody be paying your salary. But of course, as Timothy has clearly broken it down to all of us, it's not going to be possible. So what also do you need to do? You also need to draw up a goal plan, a goal map for how you develop skills that you are lacking in. Now, personally, I like to talk, but I don't like to write. It's very strange. People found it. It's something that people have asked me over years, that you're a lawyer, why don't you like to write? And I said, I like to write fiction. I like to write about interesting things. I like to create stories, but I don't particularly like to write about serious documents. But guess what? I had to skill up in that area when I had to work in international migration, because most of my work, after I'm done on TV, on different platforms, I had to eventually get to a place where I had to document my reports. I had to write articles for the website. I had to write articles and the website wasn't Nigeria. It wasn't like a Nigerian website. My organization was in Hong Kong. I was working in Nigeria, and I had to document the stories of the things that the people I was seeing. So at the end of the day, your mindset orientation is another visualization tool. You need to see yourself, open your mind up to the fact that my goals and the things I need to work on are clearly articulated. Sorry that the prints are quite small. I know that. So I thought I don't like to write, but I decided today I went overboard with the writing in the name of write this thing. Anyway, so at the end of the day, you need to understand that when you are, even I can see it. Okay, you need to understand that one of the key takeaways from the mindset orientation is that you need to use critical thinking. You need to focus on your bigger goals can be overwhelming. But when you connect that goal, now this part here, the next tool that I'm talking about now is goal mapping. So the tools we've mentioned have been a vision board, creating a vision board. You can decide to use any of them, and you can decide to also, with working with the consultants and working with the team at Bip Edge, define how to go about the process of saying, okay, you know what, how do we, maybe we'll go from this place, so we'll do the goal mapping. The goal mapping simply puts the goal mapping was designed by a man called Brian Main. And Brian Main, even though now it has become more popular, Brian Main was the first person who I sat under, and I realized was one that made me realize that the brain truly sees in pictures. So on that goal mapping, you've written, so you have two sides you can get two sides to your sheet or your phone or anything, and so you have your written words, business owner, CEO, and guess what? For a long time, I used to feel like having objective, so people, the real deep business consultants, I find myself crossing between business consulting and really being a people developer. Sometimes your goal, your desire, your dream, your entire motivation for wanting to go into business is as simple as I feel there's positive self-aggrandizement. You want to be proud of yourself. You want to say to yourself that, oh my goodness, I am a CEO. I stood up. I rose from something. I'm important. I'm proud of myself. And that may very well be your motivation. And so that becomes the written words. You are talking to yourself. So things to write down. You now put the picture in whichever form you do. When we did the goal mapping, I'm telling you, goal mapping sometimes, everybody, adults became like children. Your inner child doesn't die. Do you know that we had to do the drawing? Like pencil, crayon, and all of those things that we wrote in words. Do you know I still have, I'm not in my office today, but I have, when I get stressed, I want things to get bad, I just go, I have coloring book. Yes, I have coloring books. And I bought crayon and I start to color. I start to say to myself, so imagine those things, because like very clearly, Timothy gave a statistic, said he gave statistics about the number of startup businesses that fail in Nigeria. And truly, and it is so true, we have so much money, access to finance, access to funds in this country, that it is not necessarily about lack of money anymore. It's about the lack of tools, the lack of the wherewithal, the lack of how to go about to maneuver and to build a success platform, and also the personal discipline. Business people are so in a hurry, rushing. The hustle, we keep saying the hustle is hard, the hustle people, this is our hustle. But sometimes you need to slow down the hustle and put in the work. Like somebody said, Stephen Covey said, 7 habits of highly effective people. Sharpen the saw. If we have a task, and that is why Bip Edge is here saying, while in paid employment, start to sharpen the saw. If I have to give a task to bring down a tree, I will sharpen the saw. If I have this task, I can sharpen the saw for a number. I think he said 7. I'll sharpen the saw for a certain number of years, and in one fell swoop, bring down the tree. At the same time, say something, begin with the end in mind. And this for me personally, this today's session, and I'm not saying this because we're in a session. I feel that today's session for me is doing a lot more for me than even all of you. So it's up to you for this session to do for you. The things I'm saying, the things I listen to, I am asking questions. 2022, this is a new year. This is March of this year. Okay, what are the things? What next? Where next? How are we doing it? And one thing I tell people, that I see Nigerians, so we're all rushing to Canada, we're doing things, but never before in the history of the world has access to success been so easy and yet so difficult. Because access to success is so easy from all the platforms that exist, but it's so difficult because if you lack the discipline and that mental wherewithal to tell yourself that, where am I going? What do I need to achieve these things? It becomes another failure case. Anyway, so let's go on. So we have the visualization, so goal mapping, laws of attraction, your vision board, and finally the fourth one, which I put there, was mindset orientation, which we have already spoken about. At the end of the day, as a human being who is going somewhere, I would say that, get started today. Take time to clarify exactly what you want in your life, from your employment, from your starting a business. Then write down that vivid and complete ideal scene of what it's going to look like, what is going to sound like. And remember one thing, dream big. As you talk to yourself, your head is hearing those things. Dream big. Dream as big as you want. Visualize those short-term and long-term goals. Focus on the profit of that business. Paint it down in picture. We have a vision board screen. I put a vision board screen there. I don't know if you can go to that slide. I have a picture of a physical vision board so that people can see what it is that a vision board really look, a sample of a vision. So this is a simple one. It can be more elaborate than this. It can be bigger than anybody can use it. Young people, old people in employment. You can even start with a vision board where it says, okay, so this is me in my paid employment now. What are the skills I have here that I'm going to transition into using in my self-employment? And the good thing about this is that you can actually create this and then frame it up in where you can see it. The place, so your home study, your room, anyway, you can even create it and put a picture of it on your phone. So let's go on. The thing about it is that vision boards, one of the benefits, helps you to create better better intentions, it gives you clarity, it improves your creativity, and so on and so forth. So I was talking about, please go outside. I have a picture of a goal map as you go on. Yeah, that's okay. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said about the goal mapping. That's so you can be the most talented individual on earth, but if you do not have that mental picture of where you're going to and you plan it, you are not going to get anywhere. Which is why I am so excited today about the fact that somebody's passion, is to say, how do I help people plan this thing? How do I help people plan an inevitable? How do I help people to put the structures that are needed into going to the next phases of their lives? Because whichever way it is, like Timothy has rightly said, which is why we have people in a particular career in Nigeria that we know today who go from one position where they were formerly ruling a state, and then they go to another position where they are now the ones who are making the laws, and from that position, maybe they go into where they become ambassadors. You know the people I'm talking about. Let's not say too much about them, because inevitably, you know that I don't want this security to end. But the rest of us are not likely to be in that particular situation. And that is why it's important that you have things like these visualization tools. And always remember that a goal is actually a dream with a deadline. And as Timothy has said, smart goals, do everything. At the end of it all, when you are doing whatever it is that you are doing, be prepared to actually, at the end of the day, take action, visualize your life after paid employment, be prepared for it, be strong enough for it, and put in all the structures that you need to put into it. And another thing, in all your visualization, the physical visualization tools. So people have all those business plans, you get overwhelmed. I remember when I went to Faith Foundation back then, I think I was about the initial days, but I'm an alumni, and they go, oh, you are one of our early sets. I say, yes, I was one of your early sets. I know that what stumped me, please go past this slide, they're more interesting, colorful slides. One of the things that stumped me the most was writing my business plan. That business plan document was so difficult for me. Not because I didn't have my goal articulated. I had my goal articulated, I knew what it was, but the financials, the summary, the everything. And so many years after now, realizing that, with all my dreams, I can actually have visualization tools that make me think of, okay, number of staff, I can put it here, I can imagine it, I can attract it. So to the kind of staff you want. I want an effective PA. Oh, my PA is good. I want somebody that is competent. Every single thing now, the world has made it with digital tools, with everything, with learning, with all the understanding in the consulting field. Everything is so much easier. When I start hearing Timothy talk about the fact that on the Bip Edge platform, you can start to put money aside, I was like, interesting. When I heard him talk about the fact that on the Bip Edge platform, you can actually start to track your progress, you can do consulting, I just said to myself that, Timothy does not know that, okay, now what happened, what I started thinking as he was talking was that, why aren't there more people knowing that this is what can be done? Why aren't there more people saying, you know what, I don't have to be afraid of the inevitable? Why aren't there more people understanding that I can start to plan myself? Why aren't there more people saying that, okay, I can open my mind to creating a future that is not as scary? And I'm so happy today that we're here, they are listening, they are seeing this, that we're all understanding how to engineer our mind through physical tools, through technology, and through a platform that actually gives us success levels. So This is it. To go from paid employment to self-employment, you need to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. And the how is one of the many ways that I've listed. And definitely, success is definitely sure, inevitable, and secure when we all join our hands together, get on a good platform, get our own hard work in, and definitely we'll see. You can go to my thank yous, the last slide. Thank you very much. 2 slides ahead of me. Thank you. Don't you like my pretty slides? Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening. My time is up.
Hello, and welcome to BipEdge, your partner that helps you to save for your business, prepare for your business, and start your business.
BipEdge is a fintech and an edutech platform designed to support employees who have decided to transition from paid to self-employment.
Our vision over a 10 years period is to support 1 million employees across Africa to make that transition successfully.
My name is Ubong Ibanga, and I'll be taking you on what it takes to cultivate the mindset of a business owner or an entrepreneur while still in paid employment.
My name is Tobore Odumoye, and I will be taking you through this session where we will discuss personal finance, an introduction to personal financial planning.
The leadership skill training and all other trainings you get from this platform is to help you transition from being a paid employee into self-employment.
And BipEdge, we have the global mandate to move 1 million employees from paid employment to self-employment in the next 10 years. Is available to give you the hand-holding experience, the guidance, the support you need to make that decision.
And BipEdge is with you all the way to give you that hand-holding support you need to make that successful move into self-employment.
We help you save, we help you prepare, and we help you start.
So we encourage you to download the app and subscribe to our services and follow us on all our social media platforms.
BipEdge.
Save, prepare,
Start.